So,
so we will wait 1 or 2 minutes, otherwise we will start. Whatever you will tell, then accordingly I will move forward. I think we will wait 2 minutes. I think 21 have joined.
la 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 la.
Mama, class में से ऑफिस से कौन है? Okay, so we will start. So in our last class, we had completed very successfully exception handling. So that was one of the important topic in Python programming. So today we will go to next important topic, important chapter in object-oriented programming, that is multi-threading. So for the interview point of view, project point of view, so this chapter is very important. So what is multi-threading? So particularly this terminology have associated with a term, that is multitasking. Everybody is listening. My voice is audible to all of you.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
1 minute. भाई ना, भाई ना, अरे संतोष, ये जो सफा करिया मैंने ଗୋଟେ ये फैन बंद कर प्राय मे भी मो वॉइस धीरे फैन बंद कर कहीं फैन टा बंद कर कहीं बोलो. So what I told, multitasking. So before entering to this chapter, we have to know the concept about multitasking. What is multitasking? The term multi-threading have associated with this terminology multitasking. So what do you mean by multitasking? Executing executing multiple tasks simultaneously is known as multitasking. Is known as multitasking. Okay, executing multiple tasks simultaneously is known as multitasking. For example, suppose you are writing a program, that is a job. Developing a program, it is a task, it is a job. At the same time, you are listening music. Listening a music, that is also a job. Operating system allocating resources, reserving memory for that. At the same time, suppose you are downloading a file from the internet. So developing a program, at the same time listening music, at the same time downloading a file from the internet. So these are one task. So multiple tasks executing simultaneously, that is called as multitasking. There are two types of multitasking, such as process based multitasking and thread based multitasking. Thread based multitasking. So, what do you mean by process based multitasking? Okay, so what I told, there are two types of multitasking. One is process based multitasking, and another is thread based multitasking. So, what do you mean by process based multitasking? So, just to see, I am writing executing multiple tasks, executing multiple tasks simultaneously, where each task is a separate, independent process, okay, which is known as process based multitasking. Process based multitasking. Example, whatever I was saying, while writing a program, writing a Python program, at the same time listening music, at the same time downloading a file from internet. This is the example of process based multitasking. It is suitable in OS level. So what is the meaning? Process. You are developing a program, writing a program, Python related process will be going on, Python interpreter related process will be going on. You remember, it is a purely, it is the concept of when a program is executing for execution of a program at the runtime, a process is creating. Suppose you are at the same time, what I told, you are listening music. So for listening to music, we have to install a software, VLC Media Player, Windows Media Player, or MP3 software we are installing. So MP3 related process will be going on when you are listening music. That is a task. Operating system allocating resources for that. So at the same time, you are downloading a file from internet. That means IDM, Internet Download Manager, that related process will be going on. And each process, all are independent and separate. If you are if you are not listening music, then there is no problem. You can write a program. Writing a program, writing a program is not depend upon listening music. Listening a music not depend upon downloading a file from the internet. So all three tasks are separate and independent, and each for each task execution a separate process is creating, but simultaneously all these three tasks executing. So we can say this is called as process based multitasking. Clear? I hope everybody got clarity. Give me response.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Then we
sir.
will go to thread based multitasking. So what do you mean by thread based multitasking? Thread based multitasking. Similarly, I can write executing multiple tasks where each task, okay, where each task, पेमेंट करे जो मामा बोली जो से अरे मामा तो पेमेंट आ दियो 250 କହିଥିଲେ ନା executing multiple tasks where each task is a separate independent thread in a program which is known as thread based multitasking. This thread based multitasking is known as multi-threading. It is suitable in programmatic level. So what is the meaning? So here program is one, process is one, but task is multiple. Suppose you think a scenario. Suppose we have a program consisting 100 lines of code. I observed first 50 lines of code and remaining 50 lines of code representing two tasks. So suppose let it the program execution time complexity suppose 5 milliseconds. But when I found first 50 lines of code representing a task, remaining 50 lines of code representing a task, but independent. There is no dependency factor in between first 50 lines of code and remaining 50 lines of code. Okay, but program is one, process is one, operating system allocating resources once, memory allocation once, okay, but task is multiple. So that representing or that concept is known as multi-threading, where each task is considering as one thread. Suppose we have two tasks, that means two thread. But strictly speaking, program is one, process is one, operating system allocating resources once, allocating memory once. So internally is task sharing that resources, sharing that memory. Resources is sharing, memory is sharing. So this is known as multi-threading. If simultaneously it will execute, so instead of 5 millisecond, within 2 millisecond it will execute. So performance will be faster. So this is called as multi-threading. Thread-based multitasking is known as multi-threading. Give a response.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I hope everybody is writing all these things, whatever I wrote.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so then I will go to new file. All the points you have written.
Yes,
So then, so I can define what is a thread. A thread is nothing but normal flow of execution which representing which represents a task. So overall, in general, you remember a thread is a task or a thread is a job. Simple. Multiple thread means multiple task, multiple job. Overall, in general, you remember. Clear? Then another point we have to know how multiple threads execute or execute. Suppose I have three thread. Let T1, T2, T3. Suppose I have three thread T1, T2, T3. Suppose operating system fixed a time slot. Let it suppose 3 milliseconds. Okay, that means within 3 milliseconds, T1, T2, T3, they have to complete. They will complete their execution. Suppose T1 task is 5 times high, that will print. T2 task is 5 times hello will print. T3 task is 5 times Python, it will print. Okay, and operating system fixed a time slot. Let the time slot is 3 milliseconds. Then T1 will complete within 1 by 3 millisecond. It will take T2 will take 1 by 3 millisecond for completing its execution. T3 will take for completing its execution 1 by 3 millisecond. Okay, 1 minute. এই ক্লাস আছে 12টায় কল করব, 12টায় কল করছি। Okay, so T1 will take 1 by 3 millisecond for completing its execution. Similarly, T2 and T3, they will take 1 by 3 millisecond for completing its execution. Now, T1 started its execution. Okay, T1 started its execution within 1 by 3 millisecond. Within 1 by 3 millisecond, T1, it is mandatory, have to complete its execution. If T1 is not able to complete its execution within 1 by 3 millisecond, then control will switching over. Control will be switching over to T2. Control will switching over to T2. Within 1 by 3 millisecond, T1 will complete its execution. If within 1 by 3 millisecond, if T1 is not able to complete its execution, the control is switching over to T2. Suppose T1 task is 5 times high, it should come, but 3 times high, 3 iteration have successfully completed, time slot expired. Time slot expired. If time slot expired, then the control will switch over to T2. Control will switch over to T2. Same case. Similarly, if T2 started its execution, suppose T time task is 5 times hello. T2 will complete its execution within 1 by 3 millisecond. But if T2 will not complete its execution within 1 by 3 millisecond, then the control will switch over to T3. switching over. Then T3 will start its execution. So after T3 completing its execution, again the control will go to remaining portion execution of T1. Then control will go to T2 remaining portion execution if the overall time slot is remaining. But if no time slot is remaining, suppose 3 millisecond completed, but T1, T2 halfly, partially, T1, T2 have executed, then exception will arise. Okay, so that means overall funda, what we are observing, control is switching over. Control is switching over from one thread to another thread when the time slot is expiring. So it is an internal mechanism. So how much time slot operating system is fixing? So that we don't know. But how we will know here? Output order, in which order the output is coming, we cannot give the guarantee, because after getting output we will know. Suppose I got the output T1 3 times high, then T2 hello, that have come. That means we will analyze after 3 iteration time slot have expired or the control have switched over to T2. So here particularly in a multi-threading context, after getting output, so we can get the knowledge when the control have switched over. So this is called as context switching. One of the very silly interview question, very popular interview question. So how multiple threads executing? The answer is context switching. So, so I can write multiple threads executing or execute through context switching means what? That means the control is switching over from one thread to another thread at the time of execution. So multiple threads executing in this way. So that point is what? Context switching. So at the time of execution, the control is switching over from one thread to another thread. Give a response.
Yes.
So you write, then we will go to Jupyter notebook environment, because our objective is we will create our own thread. That means user defined threads, and a thread representing a job or a thread representing a task always. Another point you remember, in every program, in every program, a default thread is running. Every program. So that thread name is main thread. So what is the meaning? Sorry, what is the name of the thread? Main thread. Main thread. I will show you. So what I told, in every program, a thread is running, that is a default thread, is built-in thread, that is called as main thread. But our objective is, our purpose is, particularly in this chapter, we will create what? Our own user defined threads. Now I open my Jupyter notebook. First point, you remember guys, when you are going to develop multi-threading program, one module that is called as one package you have to import, and that package in Python programming package is called as module, and that module is called as what? That is the threading module. There is a module named as threading. Particularly this module we will import, particularly in our context or in a multi-threading context. So from how threading module we will import in this way. From threading, import star. From threading, import star. Threading is a module. From threading, star. Import star. Star means all built-in class and all built-in function. Whatever the enabled class or whatever the enabled function present in threading module, all we imported. So this is the first point. Now I will hit on the first one. So threading, there is a module named as threading. So that module we will import in which way? From threading, from threading, import star. From threading, import star. Now we will go to our objective. Our task is what? We will create our own thread. We will create our own thread. That means user defined. We will create our user defined thread. So what is the meaning of user defined thread? How? Just to see, create a class, create a child class plus name. So I have created a child class from which class? The built-in class is thread. So if interviewer will ask you how to create a user defined thread, your answer is, sir, create a child class from thread class. Thread is a built-in class. T is uppercase. This built-in class coming from threading module. So a user-defined thread is nothing but a child class. So here my child class name is my thread. So this is my name of the user-defined thread. My thread name is my thread. My thread is nothing but a child class. Okay, give a response till now.
Yes.
Create a class which is what? Create a child class that I have created from thread class. Point number one. Then point number two, the concept told, since my thread is a class or it is a child class is a class, so you can define any number of function, you can take any number of data members, there is no problem. But one point is mandatory that we have to specify, that is protocol. That is what? There is a built-in function to fully define a thread. To fully define a thread, we need to define a built-in function, that is a run function. Without run function definition, a thread is not fully defined. So basically, run is a built-in function, or basically you can say run is an overridden function, because this function coming from thread class. So already this function available in thread class. Again, same function we are using in child class. So that's why I told it is an overridden function. In our last class, we had studied what is function overridden. So you remember overall in one line, to fully define a thread, to fully define a thread, we need to define a function, that is run function. And run function definition, that representing a task. So this is a task for k in range of 5 Python programming. That means 5 times Python programming it will come to the picture. Range function already we have studied in what? For loop, range of 5 means 0 1 2 3 4. So 5 times 0 will come to k Python programming, 1 will come to k Python programming, 2 will come to k Python programming, 3 will come to k Python programming, 4 will come to k Python programming. In this way, 5 times Python programming I have just that is my task. It will print in your picture. So you remember a run function definition. Run function definition representing our job. To fully define a thread, it is mandatory that we have to define a run function. So this is step number one. Give a response.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then we will go to step number two. So we know that step number two, object declaration. So I declare objects obj equals to class name parenthesis. Now obj is the my thread object, or we can say it is called as thread instance, because my thread considering as our thread name. So after object declaration, we know that object name dot function name, obj dot run function. But instead of obj dot run function, I have written obj dot start function. Sir, we have known after declaration of an object dot function name, but object dot run function I should write, but I have written obj dot start function. So you remember, like a run function, another built-in function, this function also coming from same threading module, that is a start function. There is a close bonding, there is a close relationship in between a run function and start function. So what is the relationship? When a start function is invoking, then run function definition is executing. So stat function is invoking by obj. Obj is the object of my thread class. So my thread class run function definition will execute. Here slash n I have written, it is called as escape sequence. Next line, Python programming, next line, Python programming, next line. 5 times Python programming will come, but next line, first output, then it will come to the next line. Slash n for new line. Okay, so you remember start function and run function having a good relationship. So when start function is invoking, run function definition is executing. Okay, then suppose here interviewer will ask, see, instead of start function, if I will write obj.run function, is there any problem? Suppose I will write instead of start function, I will write suppose obj.run function. So there is no problem. Perfectly it will be valid. Immediately we will shock, sir, if it is valid, so why we are writing obj.start function? Obj.run function, when I will write and it will give the output, there is no problem. But why I will write start function? You remember one point, enters your question. You remember one point in multi-threading. Suppose there are three tasks separately or internally in memory, three stack will be created. For each thread, a separate runtime stack will be created. Suppose three tasks, three stack. Stack is a data structure. I think you all have taught it. Suppose this is for T1, this is for T2, and this is for T3. If you have three number of thread, then internally three numbers of stack will be created, and each stack will contain one thread information. Suppose this is T1 information, this stack will contain. T2 information, this stack will contain. Similarly, T3 information, this stack will contain. But if you will write obj.run function, then that program will not consider as a multi-threading, because this represents multi-threading. But if you will execute this line, so for this line only one stack will create, and that stack will contain all information along with the main thread information. Yes. So this is not representing multi-threading. But when you execute obj.start function, so each or a separate runtime stack will create for each thread. So that representing multi-threading. Clear? Give a response.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Just After obj.start function, another task I have presented. Java programming 5 times. But after object declaration, you remember, after object declaration, if you are specifying a task, that is the main thread task. But Python programming, this task is whose task? My thread task. But this task is main thread task. You remember, after object declaration, if you are specifying a task, that task is the main thread task. Okay, so now I will hit run. So just to see, first Python programming, then Java by programming, then Python programming. So মন ইচ্ছা আসিছে আউটপুট, তার মানে ফার্স্ট কন্ট্রোল পাইথন প্রোগ্রামিং মানে এই পার্টটা এক্সিকিউট করেছি, তারপরে কন্ট্রোল সুইচ ওভার হয়েছে এপটକୁ যাহা প্রোগ্রামিং, তারপরে কন্ট্রোল সুইচ ওভার হয়েছে পাইথন প্রোগ্রামিং, তারপরে যাহা প্রোগ্রামিং, তারপরে পাইথন প্রোগ্রামিং. So here, what I was telling, output we cannot say in this order output will come. 5 times Python programming will come, 5 times Java programming will come. But in which order it will come? Because execution is going on through context switching. At the runtime, control switching over from one thread to another thread. Clear? Give a response.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Then just to see very simple example, simple A is a thread, task is 5 times Python. Similarly, B is a task, B is a thread. Similarly, Python for AI 5 times. Class A within bracket thread means A is the child class, thread is the parent class. Similarly, B is the child class, thread is the parent class. So run function I have defined here, run function I have defined because run function definition is the job of A. A is our thread name. Similarly, B function run function definition. So this run function definition representing our job of a B thread. So OB1 equals to A class, OB2 equals to B class. That means OB1, OB2 are two object of A thread and B thread, or A class object and B class object. This is called as thread instance. This is called as thread instance. Then we currently we knew. So after step number 2 is very simple, object declaration, object dot function. So here ob1 and ob2 are two objects, so happily I can write ob1 dot start function, ob2 dot start function. So when this line executed, this person will execute. When this line executed, this person will execute. So now I will hit it. So got this clear? So A is your user defined thread, B is your user defined thread. But previous example, my thread, that is user defined thread, but another thread was the main thread. Clear? Then we will go to the next example just to see here. Very simple. One without it taking till now, everybody got clarity. Till now, give a response.
Yes.
Okay. So it would a simple ଜିନିଷ ମୁଁ ଦେଖେଇଛି, ଏଠି ଗୋଟେ class ର concept ନେଇନି, without a class. F1 function, F1 is a function name I defined print Python program. Now I have declared an object of thread class. We know that thread is an inbuilt class, so happily I can write object name equals to thread parenthesis. But within parenthesis, what I have specified, target equals to F1. Target is a keyword. Target equals to F1. What is F1? F1 is a function name. F1 function definition that we have defined. So target equals to F1. Target is a keyword. Target equals to F1 means the F1 function definition. Now I will write obj.stat. Obj is the object of thread class. Obj.stat. When stat function will call, run function definition will execute. But here there is no run function concept, but one is available because one function I have defined. So obj.stat function, when this line will execute, then this person will execute because what is obj? thread class object. What thread is representing target equals to F1. So when that's why in this line when it will execute, this person will execute. Then another task after object declaration, another task even software. So this task is the main thread task. So it is very simple. There is no need to follow this concept because without a class, there is no meaning of object oriented. Then currently I was telling that main thread, I was telling every program having a thread by default. Okay, so that is called as main thread. If I want to see that main thread, so what I have to write current thread function dot get name. If I want to get, if I want to know what is the name of the default thread which is running in our every program, so that is called as main thread. So now I will hit run. So I got main thread. So I hope everybody got clarity. Give a response.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is all about multi-threading. So tomorrow, so we will start pandas, the most awaited topic. So till now, this is all about Python object-oriented programming. So in Python object-oriented programming, what we covered: Python class, object, constructor, destructor, inheritance, then exception handling, then multi-threading. Okay, so give a response.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you to all of you. Tomorrow, today participant is what 33. So totally is 36. So I quite request to all of you tomorrow at least everybody should present because tomorrow class onwards every class will play a vital role, an important role every class will play, and everything is easy. You will feel it is very easy. And today one thing that you will do, play kindly, read today list and collection, Python list and Python collection. These 2 points we will use widely. Now the time came, so list and collection you are read today. Okay, so thank you to all of you.
Thank you.
Sir.
Sir.
Thank you, sir.